I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gets together, and there's no telling what they're going to say about various topics, so stay tuned for that. Between now and then, some great guests and important information coming your way. For example, we'll learn about a celebrity who's going to be coming to this area for a good cause. We'll find out who she is and what that cause is. We'll also meet with some folks from UNCG to find out about their athletic program, of which they are very proud, and we'll meet an entrepreneur from Graham. All that and more. But first, we start out talking about something called the Buddy Walk. I want to find out what that is and why it is. And we have three great community servants to help us through this topic. And they've all been here before. On my immediate right, David Daggett, of course, and he's an attorney with Daggett Schuler. Next to him, our good friend McNeil Cronin, who was last here in February. That's right, February.
That's right.
Vice President of the Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network, and by trade, an anesthesiologist. Mm-hmm. Right. And Griff Schuler, of course, bringing up the rear down there, attorney with Daggett Schuler, who years ago, I think he was asked, what do you think about teaming up with David Daggett? And he said, can we do a criminal background check? I think that's I don't know if it was a historical point.
I passed.
Yeah, you passed. Yes. All right, guys. Now, I want to start out with McNeil. Remind our viewers of the mission of your network.
Yeah, so again, thanks for having me back here today, Jim. The Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network is a local organization. It provides support and resources to individuals in our community, the Piedmont, that have Down syndrome, and it provides support and resources to their family. Its main mission is to help individuals with Down syndrome lead as happy and healthy lives as they possibly can and reach their fullest potential.
Let me pin you down. We didn't rehearse this or anything, but give me an example of the kind of support you might give.
So the Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network is there for families from the birth of their child with Down syndrome, and sometimes even before that, to provide support, let them know that things are going to be okay, that this is really going to be a blessing for them. And then more practical support as they get older, things like potty training, helping them to learn how to eat, to go to school, provide resources from childhood all the way up to adulthood.
So you're there for the continuum.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Yep.
Griff, why is the Down Syndrome Support Network so important in your mind?
Well, I think one of the things that's very exciting about the organization locally here is you're engaged not only with the individuals and the families, but they have made it a part of their mission to engage the whole community. And so they have purposely done events to broaden the reach and allow educational opportunities and awareness for the community at large.
And awareness is key. David, I know you've been really involved, I'm going to say closely involved in some of these events. How so?
Well, through a friendship that developed with McNeil and his family when they ran a race that I was announcing, and they grabbed me and asked me if I would help with the Down Syndrome Support Network, which I knew very little to nothing about. After the first event, I was all in, and I absolutely love it. You can bring tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
The Buddy Walk that's coming up September 30th is maybe my favorite event that I do all year.
Yeah.
And it's just a terrific day. In fact, I drove up last year. It's at the football stadium at West Forsyth High School, starting at 9 in the morning.
September 30th at 9 a.m., that's right.
September 30th, that's a Saturday at 9 in the morning.
Right.
I drove up last year, which was the first time that I emceed the event, and I couldn't believe the number of cars that were already in the parking lot. And I went right up to McNeil because I thought, do I have my timing right?
Right.
Those were the cars of the volunteers.
Oh, my Lord.
It's impressive.
It's very impressive. There are arts and crafts. There's lots of games. There's a talent show. And then the Buddy Walk, which is kind of the grand finale, is one lap around the track in the football stadium.
Right.
And it's just a showcase for the Down syndrome community and their family, friends, and members of the public. And for somebody who's not involved with Down syndrome, I had a cousin with Down syndrome, but not my immediate family. It is such a moving, touching event. The Down syndrome community is probably misunderstood by most of the public that's not connected. They are the happiest individuals you will ever meet. They're the most loving individuals you ever meet. And it's just a lot of fun and very, very rewarding.
Well, I'll tell you, you give a really good testimonial, and since you mentioned the Buddy Walk, I want to put up on screen just to remind folks of what McNeil and David were talking about. Buddy Walk, Saturday, September 30th, 9 to 12:30, West Forsyth High School in Clemens. Now, you can the Daggett Schuler website will be up as well, and that's daggettshewhartlaw.com for our radio audience, but also very important, pdssn.org for the support network that I'd like you to check out. Guys, you make a good team and some good testimonials there. Thanks.
Please join us September 30th. I guarantee you will love it and have a good time out there.
There you go, and we hope we'll do it. We'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today. I'm going to take this away from my guest. I'm going to stay on this camera, Lori. You see this? I'm going to cover my face with it. This is cool. This is a UNCG banner. And as an alumnus of UNCG, I'm very proud to hold this up. And we're going to talk about Spartan athletics and all that good stuff. Now let's see our guest. Our special guest is Tim George. He's a Senior Associate Athletic Director for External Operations and Chief Marketing Officer at UNCG. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for bringing the banner. This is cool.
Absolutely.
I like this.
You bet. You
Now,
can fly it with pride.
Well, thank you. Yeah, fly it with pride. Remind everybody what the UNCG men's basketball team was able to accomplish in the last season, and what are you looking for this season?
You bet. Well, last year was an incredible run, not only for our program, but for our school in general, and I think the city of Greensboro in a historic run. We won a program record 25 games last year. Won the Southern Conference regular season championship, went to the NIT where we went up to New York in the middle of a snowstorm, played Jim Boeheim and the Syracuse Orangemen, and the city of Greensboro really got behind us for that game after some of Coach Boeheim's comments.
That's right.
But it was a lot of fun. It was a great time. We returned a lot of that team, which we're very excited for this year. We have 3 ACC opponents that we're going on the road to meet this year.
You're going up to Raleigh to play the Wolfpack.
We go up to Raleigh. We come over to Winston-Salem, and then we play at Virginia to open the season on November 10th.
Not to get ahead of myself,
Sure.
but just so I don't forget, are season tickets for the men's basketball still available?
They are, absolutely. We actually, they just went on sale. They started at $129, and this year we set a new goal. Be the first time ever to break 1,000 season tickets. Last year our team went on a historic run as a team, and this year we're saying as a fan base we want to go on a historic run in support of them.
Now, I haven't been around the university a lot. I know that there's a sensitive issue here that I'm going to bring up to you, and that is that some of the other sports say, hey, Jim, don't just talk about men's basketball because you have a total of like 17. We have a total of 17 programs. Athletic programs. Now let's just mention how proud you are of some of those other teams.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, we have 17 Division I sports, including our basketball teams. And last year in particular, there were 3 additional teams outside of men's basketball that had incredible years. Our women's basketball program had 20 wins, which is the first time in over a decade. Our new coach, Trina Patterson, was named Southern Conference Coach of the Year. So it was an incredible year for them. And then our softball team won a Southern Conference regular season championship. And then our baseball team, to round out the year, again, what an incredible ride. They won a Southern Conference tournament championship, advanced to the NCAA for the first time since 1997. We played at Clemson in front of 7,000 fans.
Oh, yeah.
It was an incredible experience. Our guys, and they did very well for themselves. I know, having been down there and leaving the stadium, a lot of Clemson fans were very complimentary of our program, and we're very excited about
Great teams. Now, sometimes college athletes in general get maligned, Tim, because they say, oh, well, all they focus on is sports. But you're pretty proud of the academic standings of your student athletes, too.
Absolutely. We have 233 student athletes, and last year they set an overall GPA record for our program with a 3.22, which is pretty good. And our kids, I mean, they're majoring in business. They're majoring in some nursing. So they're not just majoring in kind of the quote unquote easy majors that people like to kind of, I think, box an athlete into. They're real student athletes. We had
and doing very well. Their grade point
doing
averages,
very well.
Graduation rates. I think there's a lot to be
Absolutely.
proud of. Now I know that sometimes people say, "Hey, I want to go see some games at UNCG, but is there any parking?" Very quickly, you want to put anybody's mind at ease there?
Absolutely. For all of our events, with the exception of men's and women's basketball, they're free.
Okay.
Men's and women's basketball, there is a charge, but again, very affordable, as low as $10 for men's basketball, as low as $5 for women's
I
basketball.
want to put this up on screen too because this sort of gets you everywhere you need to go. www.uncgspartans.com, and the general website is uncg.edu. Between those two, you can find out just about everything you need to know, including that I'm holding this banner up. And thanks again for the banner and for all you do, and keep up the good work. And you have a great athletic director too.
She's the best.
She is the best. All right, Tim, thanks for doing this.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Right now on Triad Today, I'm with two lovely ladies, and that's good enough right there. We could just end the segment. But they also happen to have some important things to tell you about, and we're going to tell you about a big celebrity who's coming to the area. Not that y'all aren't big enough celebrities, but I'm just saying we have another celebrity coming in. On my immediate right, Ashley Wiley making a return visit to Triad Today. She's Senior Development Officer for Community Foundation of Greater Greensboro. Next to her, Andy Bunn, who is chairman of chairwoman of the Women to Women Celebration Luncheon. Is it okay to say chairman?
I think that's fine.
Chairman?
I think that's
yeah.
okay.
But anyway, I just think it's exciting to have you two here. The luncheon is an exciting thing that's been going on for some time. Ashley, I'm going to start with you and just ask you to tell the viewers who might not know, what is Women to Women about?
Well, the Community Foundation of Greater Greensboro is a charitable organization that is committed to strengthening our community for present and future generations, and we have over $200 million in assets.
Wow.
And we manage over 600 funds, and Women to Women is one out of those 600 plus funds that I get the pleasure with to work alongside of. And so Women to Women is Greensboro's first permanent grant-making endowment, and it engages women in impacting the lives of women and children.
And I guess because you have so many great members involved in that some of the ladies who have become great successes turn out to be role models and mentors to others, right?
Right.
Yeah, I just think it's great.
sir.
Andy, tell me more about what we're going to call the celebration luncheon, because I keep people in suspense about who's going to be there. But before we tell who's going to be there, just in general, what's the luncheon about?
Sure, it really is a celebration, and it's an opportunity for us to get together to recognize the work being done by our nonprofits, as well as to celebrate the success of our donors and our sponsors. And we have fun together, we collaborate together. We also will announce the grant recipients for the year.
Oh, yeah.
And we will also, the Greensboro News and Record will announce the Woman of the Year Award, as well as the Rising Star Award.
I think that's great. Now, Ashley, what's been the impact overall of Women to Women? I know you talked about the mission of it and what it's doing. It's great. What do you think the impact's been?
Great. Well, the endowment is now nearly $4 million in just a few years, and the Women to Women has given out over $500,000 back into our community to organizations that are creatively and courageously standing in the gap for women and children. The most recent year, they gave out their first multi-year investment of $210,000 to the YW's Passion to Purse program. And that just helped women that were low income or no income to start their own micro enterprises.
Wow.
And at the end of 2016, they reported an income of over $70,000.
But now, I hear you say that, and if I'm watching, I say, well, I'd like to get involved in that. Is it difficult to get involved? Do you join? What happens?
Great. Well, I'll actually lend that to
Yeah, go ahead,
one
Andy.
of our leading
Andy.
donors.
Yeah, because I'm newly involved, but because the corporation that I work with is a leading donor,
Right,
I'm
and what's
able
the corporation?
I work for First National Bank.
Okay, we wanted to
and-
get a plug in
yeah,
for that.
thank
That's
you.
good.
And you can participate in many ways through coming to our luncheon, also by donating. And as a leading donor, you also get a spot on our advisory council, which
Wow.
gives you opportunity to do things like this, co-chair a luncheon or chair a committee, as
Sure.
well as help make decisions.
And who is the celebrity guest who's going to be speaking?
We are welcoming Andy McDowell, well-known acclaimed actress
Oh,
and
yeah.
philanthropist.
Yeah.
Very excited about that.
She's very involved in a lot of serious causes, but I think she's great as an actress too. What was it, 4 Weddings and a Funeral?
Yeah, this is one of her big ones.
And she did some others I thought were really good with Michael Keaton and some funny movies, some serious movies.
Groundhog Day is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
My
and
favorite.
she keeps Groundhog Day, and so people can go on websites and find out more about that. Now let's put up on screen before time gets away from us. Women to Women Celebration Luncheon with Andy McDowell, and that's Monday, October 16th, 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. That's at the Corey Convention Center. Now, let me just ask a stupid question. Can people still buy tickets, or are we basically just doing this to let people be more aware of Women to Women?
Yeah, both, but people can still buy tickets, and
great.
individuals or organizations.
Okay, 2 things also I'll have up on screen, cfgg.org, and I'll say that again for our radio audience, and that's for the foundation itself, Community Foundation of Greater Greensboro, or you can email awiley@cfgg.org. Ladies, thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Thank
This is
you.
exciting.
Thank you.
All right, and let me know how it goes.
We'll do.
will.
Hope you'll come, Jim.
We will come. Men are allowed to come?
They are allowed.
My wife told me I couldn't come. Horrible. She teases
Y'all
me.
have just a small table, but
That's
you're
right.
allowed.
Well, put me in the back. I'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today, and you can see sort of in the frame here, we'll have some close-ups later, of something called Gorilla Grains, and we're going to talk about Gorilla Grains and what Gorilla Grains are and who invented them. Let's go right now to my special guest. She is Alicia Rehberg. She's president of Gorilla Grains, and we'll give you the grains, and we'll give you the website to that later, but welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Now,
me.
how would you describe what I just said? How would you describe Gorilla Grains?
Well, we call it a gourmet granola,
Okay.
but many people have a preconceived idea that all granola tastes like tree bark.
Right.
And-
That was my perception.
Exactly. So we have converted a lot of people once they tasted this. We use butter instead of, say, an oil base.
Right.
And the butter makes a huge difference in giving it a nice toasty flavor.
It really does.
It lingers in your mouth, and it just has a wonderful light texture. I've had people say, I really like this. It doesn't break a tooth.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
they
tell you,
just have a good
let me
experience.
just say that before I want to say this. Folks that watch the program know that we don't do commercials and endorsements and whatever. They say, well, why are you talking about a product? Well, because it was strange. I was starving one day, and I was leaving the station. Her husband happened to have a bag of this, and hey, my wife makes this stuff. And I said, well, I don't like grains. I don't like that stuff. And I got starving to death out in the middle of traffic and started tasting them, and you converted me. And plus the fact that you're local and you're a local entrepreneur and doing well, I just wanted to salute. We like to salute small businesses anyway.
Thank you.
And that's why you're here. Now, let me just, how long did it take you to come up with this kind of recipe, though? Was it overnight, or did it take a year? Or?
Literally over a 14-year period. I started making different flavors, trying to get my husband to eat healthier. I wanted healthy snacks for the kids to be able to grab instead of always
Yeah.
saying grab some chips or grab some crackers between meals.
Because Steve was like me. He doesn't like this stuff, basically.
No, he was a chef by trade, and he said, he was tall and thin, didn't need to worry about his weight. He said, I'm not going to eat something if it didn't taste good.
Right.
So I kept making different varieties and getting him to try them, and he's like, I'm just not granola.
Yeah.
But I still persisted, and
You hit on the right recipe.
yeah, finally one day he tasted it again, and as he says, I had to go through all kinds of things that no one should have to go through.
Well,
But he said,
that's what
"This is it."
spouses, yes, that's what spouses are for. They have to support. Well, I can't let you go before I ask, why did you name it Gorilla Grains?
That name literally came to me as I was waking up one morning on a birthday, actually. I had played with names for years and couldn't come up with anything, and that
Right.
dropped into my head.
Right. Well, it's all right. It's a good name. And I won't go over where these are available because, again, I don't want to turn it into a TV ad. But I do want to give the website because that will tell you where you can get it. It'll give you some history and story about the Rehbergs. And it's at gorillagrains.com. And make sure you type in the S on that, Gorilla Grains. I think I typed in Gorilla Grain one day, and it was an actual gorilla that was on there or something. So it was a weird website. So it's gorillagrains.com, and that will tell you all about the company. And other than compensating your husband for being a guinea pig,
That's right.
what are your goals for the company going forward?
Well, we've got a great foundation, so we want to just continue to expand through local stores, coffee shops, and our online presence. People can go online and order. We ship to soldiers or anybody else you want to send a gift to, and we just have it's a good fun business.
Put them in, kids can put them in backpacks to
Yep,
go to school
yep.
too. I just
College
think it's
care
great.
packages.
Alicia, I salute you as a small business person, even if I didn't meet you through your husband, but even so, you're a great small business person, a success story. Congratulations on that and
Thank
all
you.
your
Thank
things.
you for
Good luck in the
having me.
future. We will be right back, and I'll snack on this. Now on Triad Today, just about time for the round table. In fact, it is. And on my right, but always political left, Ogie Overman, who is that great award-winning broadcaster journalist. Next to him is my friend of 100 years, chairman of Forsyth County Commissioners, longtime broadcaster, Dave Plyler. And between us, Dave and Ogie and I, we are so old that we were on a first-name basis with Wilbur and Orville Wright. So that should give you some idea. But anyway, making us a younger panel on the far right, Keith Granberry, the founder of Helping Hands Consultants, does great work here and abroad. And gentlemen, let's get right to it. Bernie Sanders, my man, has been pushing his Medicare for All plan forever. Now he's getting some Democratic support. Here's the question, will it go anywhere? Ogie.
Not right now. After 2020, I do think there's a good chance we might get single payer, or at least the conversation will be ongoing.
Dave.
It spurred conversation, but it's just not going to make it.
Keith.
Not as long as the Republicans are in power.
but they're going to use that to springboard 2018 to take over the House and Senate and possibly get the White House in 20. That's what they're using. That's their strategy.
All right, we're going to keep on the topic of politics. Democratic pollsters now say Michelle Obama should run against Trump in 2020. Meanwhile, other sources say Joe Biden is still thinking about it. Guys, do you think either Michelle or Joe or both will run in 2020? And if so, who could beat Trump? Ogie.
I love them both. I don't see either one of them running. I can see about a dozen Democrats who could potentially run, and all of them could beat Trump.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is one of them for
Dave.
sure.
It's too far out, too far out. Even Trump, it's too far out.
You don't know if he'll
Don't know.
even be the nominee.
Who
Keith.
knows?
I believe that Joe Biden would have did better in this election than Hillary Clinton.
He probably
And
might have beat Trump.
Absolutely.
Because he had
So-
the white
so-
industrial Rust Belt vote.
I believe that Joe Biden will run.
All right, now, but not Michelle Obama.
No.
But you're friends with Michelle Obama.
I know him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Speaking of elections, let's go statewide. Who's more likely to challenge Governor Roy Cooper in 2020? Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest or former Governor Pat McCrory? Ogie.
I don't see McCrory doing anything. I mean, past governors just kind of fade into the sunset. They don't really do anything. But
David.
Forrest will, yeah.
The incumbent always has the advantage, and I don't see anyone at this point who can do that.
Keith.
I think McCrory is going to come back, and I think he's going to be talking about this commission on fraud and how the election was stolen from him.
Could be interesting. I think McCrory might make a comeback too, because I think this LGBT thing has really, there's a lot in the LGBT community that are mad that things have not gotten done, and I think they're realizing it wasn't McCrory's fault, but we'll see what happens. The State Board of Education is considering changing report cards so that letter grades must take into account absenteeism. Guys, you okay with that? Ogie.
Well, in college, we used to get, I mean, if you missed a certain number of classes,
Couldn't
it
graduate.
was deducted. I failed a course because I had too many unexcused absences.
Dave.
At the
I
rat
can't-
scaler.
You know, my whole question is, we need to turn this conversation toward Ogie, because I can't imagine you failing anything.
Well, I had rat scaler 101. Which is what I was basing.
Yeah, but, all right, so Keith, what do you think?
Yeah, I think attendance and grades should go hand in hand.
A new study says that white Christians now comprise only 43% of the U.S. population. That's down from 80% 40 years ago. Guys, does this explain why white racists are so angry now? And will our laws and policies begin to change for the better going forward? Ogie.
Well, it does partially explain it. I mean, they should not feel threatened because they're no longer in the big majority. But yeah, I see better laws coming in the future once we get rid of Trump.
All right, David.
How was the question framed? And the other part, I guess, who did the survey? And if you're going to fact check that, fact check who did the survey.
Right, but I mean, it's undeniable that there has been a sharp decrease in white Christians in their dominance in the population. So I mean, what effect do you think that's going to have?
I don't think so. I don't know.
All right, Keith.
I mean, it's a moot point because whoever has the money has the power. Let's look at South Africa, for instance. There was a small white minority, but they controlled the
Control the
country.
money. Okay.
The economy dictates who controls what.
Here's one. I just want to spend a lot of time on this, but it really gets me. Speaking of laws and things, as soon as they learned of a massive data breach, 3 Equifax executives sold off $1.8 billion worth of their stock. Guys, should they go to prison? Ogie.
That is, if that's not insider trading, I don't know how you define it. I mean, the feds are investigating them. I think they should do a little time.
Mr. Blyler.
3 words: investigation, investigation, investigation.
And imprisonment, maybe, after that. Keith.
They're going to have some problems. They got some explaining to do.
Yeah, as Desi used to say to Lucy, you got
That's
some
right.
explaining to
You
do,
got some
Lucy.
explaining
All right,
to do.
and finally, guys, it's been reported that witches all over the world are casting spells on Donald Trump every month. Guys, here's the question. Do you believe that a woman can cast a spell on you? Ogie.
Well, I do applaud the women for casting a spell on Trump, but I'm not really sure that it works. I mean,
You don't think it's
I've
real?
been enamored and enraptured by women, including my wife, especially
You've
my
had
wife.
spells put on you?
Maybe, but
Yeah.
Probably, I was part of it as well.
Yeah,
you know.
Dave, have you had, is it possible for a woman?
56 years ago, a woman cast a spell on me, and we're still married.
Isn't that nice?
As of
That's
September
nice.
30th of this year.
That's
Way
nice.
to
All right,
go.
Keith, can a woman cast a spell on you?
Yeah, my mother cast a spell on me a long time ago. Anytime she tell me to do something, I do it. It's still there.
I think that she cast a switch on you.
That's
I think
right.
that's what
The
she
switch,
cast
the bell.
something on you. All right.
That's right.
Well, that's all the time we have except for this. Oh, last week, an Alabama man who married his MacBook computer says he's angry because the court won't recognize the nuptials. Said the judge, "I will not allow a man to marry a cold, calculating machine." Where were you when I needed you, said Bill Clinton. For all of us here on Try Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.